Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's such a wonderful day, and I am so thankful to God because He's blessed us to live to see another day. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. This is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. I am so happy that you're here with me today. I am grateful to God, as I said, because He has blessed us to live to see another day. Today, we are going to talk about uh, what is it, stress and especially in relationships and communication. So, we have some great things to talk about today. So, I am just happy to be able to bring these to you. And it helps me as well as helping all those who accept the help. And I don't try to force anything, but I just love to bring great information to everyone that will accept it. And I have these great writers, bloggers, and psychologists, and all of these wonderful people who have all of this information to share with us. I thank them for it and for putting it here so that we don't have to always write our own because they put it out here for us. So I am just grateful for that. So, life and relationship changes, challenges, dealing with the situations as they present themselves, dealing with the situations as they present themselves. Okay, so here we go. And why do some connections fade over time? Communications. Why do some connections fade over time? And there are many reasons, and I believe I got this. It might be Google. I'll make sure that I get it right. But okay, now connections can fade for a variety of reasons. Here are a few common ones. Life changes. Number one, people move, people change jobs, or experience significant life events that can shift their priorities and availability. This is so true. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. Number two, lack of communication. Regular communication is key to maintaining relationships. When communication dwindles, so can the connection. That's in every situation. Number three, different interests. Over time, people can develop new interests or hobbies that don't align with these or those of their friends or partners. Number four, personal growth. As individuals grow and evolve, their values, their goals, and perspectives may change, leading to a natural drift from those who no longer share similar views. This is so true. And we have to accept this, and then we have to know how to deal with it as it presents itself, okay? Number five, conflict. Unresolved conflicts or misunderstandings can change and they can create distance and erode the bond between people. Excuse me, please. My throat is tickled here. I did get a tickle in my throat. So it's a natural part of life, but it can also be an opportunity to form new connections and strengthen existing ones. Have you experienced this with someone recently? Okay, this is my co pilot. That's where I got that information. Now, let me go into other information here. All right. I have one from Very Well Mind. What to do when your partner is upset, but they won't tell you why. Talking about communication. Poor communication skills can lead to loads of stress. So here's what to do. Okay. And then let me see. 13 non obvious signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. And this is from yourtango.com. And verywellmind.com. And so I have two from Very Well Mind. I do believe Your Tango, Very Well Mind. So let's get right into it. Okay, communication. Communication is key for success, okay? To help you navigate this challenge, several experts have shared the possible meaning behind a partner who doesn't communicate why they may be upset. We also provide actions you can take to show support to your partner, helping them to open up and share what may be wrong. And some people have problems because they don't understand that the partner does have a serious problem with the communication. And so that itself is a problem when people don't understand each other, when they really don't understand each other. So, what to do? This is very well mind. What to do when your partner is upset, but they won't tell you why. Let's see here. And I'm going to start at your tango first, okay? Thank you so much. Again, I thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you for being here on Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk right here. 13 non obvious signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. So many times we criticize because we don't understand. And relationship can be ruined because you don't understand that you need to understand your partner, their feelings, and how they deal with different things, and we just don't understand. We don't know to try to understand, but now today we will. We're working on it. Okay. 13 non-obvious signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. When a person doesn't know, they just don't know until they learn better. Okay. So this is by Oceana Tepfinhart. And this is updated on January 26, 2025. So that's just a couple of days ago. So we have some very fresh material here. Your partner may seem like Prince Charming at times, but contrary to what Disney may suggest, your partner is a human being. This often overlooked fact of life means that your partner will always have moments where they laugh, they cry, and yes, also get their feelings hurt. This could be our partner, this could be us too, because we are human. Oh, yes. Since your partner is human, you need to make sure that you show love and care for them, particularly when it comes to sensitive subjects. Sometimes a partner is upset and doesn't know how to express hurt, so pay close attention. If any of these things start to happen in your relationship, so get ready, here it comes. Here are the signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. Number one, they stopped nagging you about that thing you never do. Okay? They stopped nagging you about that thing you never do. People tend to think that seeing someone stop complaining is a good thing, but it's not. Generally speaking, if they kept asking you to do it and you never did, their cessation of asking means they gave up on you. And I know I'm one of those that will, after I ask and it doesn't get done in a reasonable time frame, I'm done. I'm not going to ask them anymore. No, that's me. I'm being honest. That's a sign they no longer want to try to tackle issues because they feel too hurt and discouraged to bother with trying. Number two, when they say they're fine, you can tell they are not fine. When they say they're fine, you can tell they're not fine. And we know that from experience. Many people have grown up in tough situations who've grown up in these tough situations don't want to admit when they're hurt out of fear of confrontation. So they bottle up. They'll tell you they're fine, but they'll seem more distant or sad around you. This is often this is often interpreted as a defense mechanism where they avoid expressing their true emotions. This could be due to a fear of vulnerability, conflict, or feeling like a burden, often stemming from learned behaviors in childhood. And this is so true. We talk about these learned behaviors in childhood. So many things are going on, so many things are happening. I tell you. And so we have to try to understand. We have to try this to understand. Oh, yes. So, and that's one of the key things we need to focus on understanding each other. Oh, yes, we do. We must focus on understanding each other. Yes. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Now, an early 2007 study recommends validating their feelings by letting them know you are there to listen and acknowledge their emotions, even if they don't explicitly express them. You need to let people know I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Number three, if you were emotionally honest with yourself, you know you did something hurtful. So if what you did would have upset you, it would likely upset your partner too. It's a it's way better to admit guilt and realize when you've done something hurtful than it is to try to brush it under the rug. And there are so people they have that Urkel syndrome. They have that Urkel syndrome. Did I do that? And they know very well that they did do that. Okay? Number four, you notice your partner giving you the how could you look. You know which look I'm talking about. It's that one inimitable, unmistakable look that people give when they really, truly are hurt. If your partner regularly looks at you with the same expression as a kicked puppy, you probably hurt them pretty badly, pretty badly. This is likely a mix of feelings, including shock, disbelief, hurt, anger, and a deeper sense of violation. They are experiencing a significant breach of trust in the relationship, often triggered by a preconceived or a perceived action or inaction on your part that they interpret as betrayal. And oh, it's terrible to feel that you've been betrayed. And once that feeling comes, that feeling is hard to kick. Oh, yes, it is. Number six, your partner's friends suddenly become icy toward you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not my partner. I haven't had a partner since Elder Davis left. Well, you know. So your partner's friends suddenly become icy toward you. The main reason why someone's friends turn against you is that they have heard you upset your partner. If it's gotten to the point that they don't want to talk to you, your partner may have complained that you seriously upset them. And I want to say this, I understand what this is saying too, but it doesn't just have to be your partner. It could be someone you consider as a friend. And when the people that you two are associated with, but you've met them through that friend, and then those people start acting cold towards you, something's wrong the matter, okay? I've experienced that. I've experienced that. Your partner's friends suddenly become icy toward you. Number seven, there is no affection between you. No hand holding, no kissing, just a few forced feeling hugs here and there. All these are signs that something's seriously wrong with your partnership. If this is a recent development, then it's safe to say you may have caused your partner enough pain to push them away from wanting any kind of intimacy with you whatsoever. Now you're at the danger point because when they get like that, it's just about over. It's hard to come back from that. Number eight, you notice your partner is uncoupling. If you messed up enough to warrant a breakup, you'll probably notice some uncoupling taking place. This is a series of behaviors that people do right before they leave, such as adding distance between you two, prioritizing others, putting their finances in order, and other acts that separate themselves from you. Conscious uncoupling is a process that aims to help people gracefully separate and move forward positively. Conscious uncoupling is a process that aims to help people gracefully separate and move forward positively. A study published in Psychological and Personality Science found that it involves acknowledging the end of a relationship and taking responsibility for one's actions. It also involves respecting the other person's feelings, decisions, and perspectives. The goal is to create new agreements and structures that minimize damage to both people and children. This is so true. Number nine, your partner resorts to passive aggressive tactics around you. Wow. Passive aggression is not healthy in any relationship and, frankly, has become a deal breaker in my book. This is the author said, and I say in mine too. So if they've gotten to the point that passive aggressive digs and sniping remarks are the norm, they clearly are hurt. However, they are also incapable of addressing this healthily at this point, okay? They are incapable of addressing this healthily. So, in this situation, it's often best for both parties to call it quits. When it gets that serious, it's time. Number 10, you try to talk to them, but it's like pulling teeth. A partner that no longer wants to speak to you about anything is a partner who has probably had enough of trying to talk to you. Once again, if it's gotten to this stage, whatever has been going on has effectively killed the relationship, and that means it's no longer salvageable in most cases. Psychology research published in a 2017 study indicates that a partner's resistance to difficult conversations often stems from a fear of conflict, vulnerability, or a lack of practical communication skills. So, those resistances can be rooted in attachment styles, past experiences, or personality traits that like avoidance tendencies, okay? So if not addressed openly and with healthy communication strategies, they can lead to relationship issues. Number 11, they say things like, do you even listen when I'm talking to you? So we're talking about when a partner cannot express his or herself. They don't know how. They say things like, do you even listen when I'm talking to you? So there are very few things as hurtful as feeling, or worse, genuinely being ignored by someone you care about. If your partner feels like you don't listen to them, and including details that are important to the things they talk to you about, they, like anyone else, yourself included, will feel like they don't matter to you, and that's hurtful to any significant other. Then there's number 12. They make offhanded jokes about leaving. Oh my goodness. Whether we like to admit it or not, there's a lot of underlying truth to our senses of humor and how we express them. So if they're joking about leaving you, you shouldn't take this lightly. They're probably really thinking about it because they're shouldering a lot of hurt you caused them. And when they said, hey, it's okay, I'm leaving. It's okay, you won't have to worry about me in a few days. Oh, that's all right. Okay. You don't miss your water till your well runs dry. And then you just skinning and a grinning and going on. You better watch out. Whether you like to admit it or not, there's a lot of underlying truth to our senses of humor and how we express them. Number 13, your partner straight up told you that you hurt them. Straight up told you that you hurt them. And this is when your partner doesn't know how to express themselves. 13 signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. And this is yourtango.com. Number 13, excuse me. Feel that tickle in my throat. Okay, when they don't know how to tell you. Number 13. Now, when they straight up told you that you hurt them. Okay? So if your partner has told you that something you did was hurtful, listen to them. At this point, they are saying that your behavior is upsetting them and that they want to continue the relationship. but they need to feel heard and understood. Listen to them and work with them if you want to keep them. It can be difficult to accept responsibility in a situation, even if you are self aware, mature adult, simply because no one ever knows everything about other people's soft spots, their weaknesses, their triggers, and emotions. So we're not all wired the same way. We also never have all the information about everything that may be going on at a given time. Never. So that is the end of that. Oh, I like this, Your Tango. That's a great article. So we're just talking about 13 signs your partner's upset and doesn't know how to tell you. So pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Okay, poor communication skills can lead to loads of stress, and we're going to tell you what to do about that. Then, what to do when your partner is upset and they won't tell you why. We'll go here first. This is Very Well Mind by Elizabeth Plumptre, December 26, 2023. And David Sussman, PhD, reviewed this. Signs they're upset, reasons they won't talk, and communication tips. So when your partner is visibly upset, at the very top of your mind are the different ways you can help them feel better. However, this can get a little complicated when your typically bubbly, chatty, or loving partner reclines into themselves without giving any explanation as to why, or worse, denying that anything is wrong in the first place. And we have had this experience and we've even done it. What's wrong? Why are you acting like that? Nothing. I'm all right. Nothing. Nothing. And you say, no, something's going on. No, nothing. Nothing. We've all done it, I'm pretty sure. So dealing with an upset yet uncommunicative partner can be very discouraging. Part of your frustration may be due to the fact that, as licensed professional counselor Catherine Ely notes, you cannot force another person to communicate with you if they are not ready to do so, and that is so true. And let's look at this at a glance. Your partner might tell you outright when they're upset, but other times you may have to infer their feelings based on behaviors. It's not always easy for people to share what they're feeling, particularly when they are upset. So it can be helpful to show your own feelings and lead the conversation with empathy. To help you navigate this challenge, several experts have shared the possible meaning behind a partner who doesn't communicate why they may be upset. And also provided here are actions you can take to show support to your partner by helping them to open up and share what may be wrong. So here are some signs your partner might be upset. When your partner doesn't share what they are feeling and admit to changes in their behavior, this can be confusing. You might wonder if you're imagining the increased silence, or you may start to question whether you're reading too much into their actions. And I have had two people in my life, and they're still in my life, but I don't see them very often, where they would just go silent. And I knew very well that I had not done anything to offend them, but that's their personality. They just go silent. won't say anything, won't acknowledge. They wouldn't acknowledge me, nothing until they got ready to talk. And it was just like they hadn't acted selfish. I know two people today that are part of my life that have done that to me. And I know for a fact that I had not done anything to offend them. That's just the way they are. And when they come out of that, then it's just like they've never been in it. And they expect you to act like, hey, it never happened. So the table of contents we've done. So example of this is if your partner turns down a cuddle session before you sleep, is there a reason that they're declining the intimacy, or are they simply telling the truth about working too hard to have the energy to hold you before bedtime? So, if you're not sure what's going on with the partner, the following behaviors can be an indication that they may be upset. These are signs to look for, okay? They've started to pull away from you. If you must go to the deep recesses of your mind to recall the last time you shared a lingering embrace with your partner, went on a walk with them, or even just sat down to watch TV together, this could be a sign that the intimacy in your relationship is missing. If you attempt to initiate little bonding moments with your partner only to have them shut your plans down or cancel with flimsy excuses, this could also be a clear indicator that they are upset. And let me tell you this is point of view with Miss Shirley Polk. It could be an indicator that they just don't want to be with you anymore. It could be an indicator that they have someone else on the side that they want to be with. Sometimes it's not even your problem. It's not even you, it's them. But I'm going to continue with this. Okay. All right. I'm going to continue with this. Poor communication skills. Then, what to do when your partner is upset but won't tell you why. All right. Your conversations seem to have double meanings. A partner who is upset can sometimes be skilled at making innuendos. An example is if you ask if something is bothering them and they respond with, "Why would I be upset? Did you do anything wrong?" This type of response may be telling you that something is indeed wrong and they think that you're to blame. And so this some people love to blame other people, to try what gaslight other people to try to make that other person who has not done anything wrong feel like they are wrong for something when they in essence have something else in mind that they want to do. It's happened. Has it ever happened to you? Okay, so we're dealing with two or three different things here today, aren't we? Your partner is showing less affection. If your partner routinely did things like brewing your morning coffee or rubbing your feet after a long day, only to stop those actions without warning or reason, they may be leaving not so subtle cues to alert you of their annoyance. Next, communication with them has become strained. It can be painful to go from wrestling with your partner on who hangs up the phone first to barely being able to spend 5 minutes on a call with them. When you find that texting, phone calls, or in person conversations are feeling labored, this could be a sign that your partner is upset about something. Next is reasons your partner may not tell you why they're upset. There may be any number of reasons your partner may choose to remain quiet when they are clearly upset. One is simply that they're not ready to open up. If your partner's upset but won't admit it, they may not be ready to talk about it, says Kristen Mark, PhD, a sex and relationship expert. Eli adds that for some people, it may be difficult to share what's on their minds. Some people avoid conflict at all costs and never speak up when upset, she says. Now, this is especially true for people who are uncomfortable with confrontation, choosing instead to deal with things their way. Yet, this failure to deal with things head on can lead to resentment and distance in a relationship, says Eli. And Catherine Eli, MALPC, quotes, all conflict is not bad. Conflict and discussion, if handled like a mature manner, if handled in a mature manner, is necessary for relationships to grow deeper and stronger by developing healthy boundaries. Your partner choosing to remain silent about an upsetting matter could also be an act of stonewalling you, says Rachel Summer, PhD, clinical sexologist. Stonewalling refers to a refusal to communicate or discuss feelings with the partner. Partners who intentionally shut down and refuse to communicate can make the relationship a living hell, she says. Summer also highlights that the silent treatment is another practice of an uncommunicative yet upset partner. This can be frustrating, hurtful, and damaging to the relationship, she warns. And when people just go off for no reason at all, just go off, just go silent, I believe they have some kind of mental problem. Okay, something, and it could be something that stemmed from childhood or some times in their life, and then they take that out on you, and you get the what is the brunt of that those feelings. And so this can make it very stressful. It's not always you that did the wrong, hopefully. Sometimes they just do this to escape their feelings, and they reflect or deflect onto you, or you might do that to them. So this is for both sides, okay? Now, Summer also highlights that the silent treatment is another practice of an uncommunicative yet upset partner. This can be frustrating, it can be hurtful, it can be damaging to the relationship, she warns. Your partner keeping mum on whatever is likely making them upset isn't always a reason to question their character or commitment to your relationship. However, because the refusal to communicate can set trouble in motion for your relationship, it may be necessary to make efforts to reach out to them. Because I'm telling you, they can get silent. I know from experience. And something else they're doing on the side. And when they come home to you, it's just like they treat you like you don't even exist. I know that. And then try to gaslight you, try to start arguments, and try to fight, like physically fight, and all of that. I understand that. So there's so much in all of this information, and we can take it and we can use what we need to use and put the other in the shelf of our mind so that it can come to us when we need it. So next is how to communicate when your partner is upset. It's something they're upset and there's no reason to be upset at you. But they want to do that to keep from communicating with you and to make you think that you are the problem. There's so much in all of this. There's so much in all of this. So, how to communicate when your partner is upset? It can be hard not to take it personally when your partner won't share what is making them upset. It may even be tempting to return the favor, keeping to yourself, or employing aggressive actions to project your annoyance to the other person. But responding this way can only worsen relationships between the both of you. Instead, Summer suggests that you can curate the conversation in a way that fosters their participation. This can be achieved in the following ways. So here we go. Let's try to practice this if we're in this situation ever again or never before, but now you are. Let them know how you feel. Asking your partner now and again what's wrong may not get you any closer to receiving an answer. Summer suggests doing things a little differently. She believes that to get to the bottom of things, it's crucial to set time aside to have a discussion to prevent your partner from avoiding the situation, especially if they are non confrontational in nature. Summer suggests that you start by building up to an exciting convo they can participate in and gradually show them why talking about the issue at hand is beneficial. This eases them into the conversation, putting them in a position where they are comfortable and more willing to share whatever may be the issue. Next, we can practice empathy, and this is where we need put yourself in the person's place. Okay? Practice empathy. When you're upset about something, whether big or small, it can be difficult to explain your hurt to others. It's important to keep this in mind when trying to learn what they are upset about, what may be the issue with your partner. Sometimes, I'm telling you from experience, they just don't want to be with you. Sometimes, okay? And then sometimes they just don't know how to express themselves. And sometimes maybe you have done something that's almost inexcusable and unforgivable. All of these situations can be in play at one time or another. And Christian Mark, PhD, stated it can be hard to temper the emotions and communicate clearly. Encourage your partner to take the time they need to process, if that helps. So, when talking with your partner, try to manage your own emotions, even if the thing your partner is worried about seems minor to you. Keeping your emotions in check helps ensure that they are comfortable enough to reveal their current and future feelings to you. Now, give them time to reflect. So while your partner is sharing the source of their upset, listen actively, asking questions where necessary to make sure you're on the same page. Depending on the direction the conversation takes, your partner may need some comfort in the form of words of encouragement or a warm embrace, especially if a sensitive matter is being discussed. In other situations, simply letting them know that they have your support and leaving them to think about their feelings and how they were handled in this situation could be the best move to take. Oh, yes. Thank you so much for being here with me. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are awesome. You are awesome. Talking about relationships, talking about communication. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Things happen, and people have been together for years and years and years and have a terrible, terrible relationship. No communication, no affection, just fuss, 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 fight, fight, fight. That is such a waste of life. And many times it's because they don't know how to communicate with each other intelligently. And not saying that they're not intelligent, but they just don't know how to communicate. So in other situations, I repeat, simply letting them know that they have the support and leaving them to think about their feelings and how they will handle in this situation could be the best move to take. Next, avoid disputes about minor issues. I don't think you can prevent upset or disputes, nor should you want to, says Eli. Upsets and disputes are part of a healthy relationship. The key to have these disputes in a respectful and loving manner. That's what you have to do. The key to is to have these disputes in a respectful and loving manner. While petty spats and quarrels are routine, Mark takes a slightly different approach. When it comes to your relationship, preventing disputes that are unnecessary or trivial can be a good thing, she says. That means letting it go if your partner forgot to take the trash out on their week to do so, or forgiving them if they started a new show without you. In instances such as these, it's important to prioritize happiness in your relationship. Just some people just pick, 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 nag, 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 and they spend 30 and 40 and 50 years doing this to each other when they could work on it, pray, especially pray and ask God to help in this relationship and help them to enjoy each other. They don't want to leave each other. That song by Gladys Knight says, neither one of us, she says, it's so hard to say goodbye. Neither one of us say we don't want to say goodbye, so we just linger on in this relationship, continuing to make each other unhappy. So I would suggest that you pray to God Almighty, the Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus and ask Him to help you with your relationship. So that means letting it go for your partner, the petty things. Oh, you didn't take out the trash. And then there's a major argument about not taking the trash out. Oh, you should have waited on me before you start that move when all you have to do is rewind it and go on. These things. Now, here's the takeaway in this piece. Your partner is a big part of your life, so it's understandable to get frazzled when you can't seem to get through to them when they appear upset. To get around this, it's important to be mindful of their feelings. Ease into a conversation that makes them feel comfortable to share their pain. Reflect on how their actions have affected you emotionally, your well being, and the impact they've had on the health of your relationship. At the same time, while your partner is important, your interests should also be at the forefront of your mind. And see, that's what I've been saying. Don't forget to look after your own wants and needs in the relationship. And if their words or actions are consistently hurtful and harmful, it may be time to consider other options. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So, this Elizabeth Plumptre is a freelance health and wellness writer. She helps brands craft factual yet reliable content that resonates with diverse audiences. Thank you so much. This is a very well mind. Okay, now we go to our next. Poor, poor communication skills can lead to stress. Here's what to do. We did the 13 signs, and then what your partner, when they won't tell you. This is Elizabeth Scott, PhD. Poor communication skills can lead to loads of stress. Here's what to do. The good thing is that they can be improved. Updated September 10th, 2023. Reviewed by David Sussman, PhD. Half listening, listening to respond, or not listening at all. Passive aggressive communication. Aggressive communication is definitely stress inducing. Healthy relationships can feel so good and even bring us some much needed stress relief. When communication is open and clear, small problems are dealt with quickly and easily, and the relationship moves on. Sadly, toxic relationships are totally different. In fact, these relationships can be the biggest creators of stress. Often, toxic relationships, that's toxic friendships, exist too, okay? Involve lots of poor communication. When communication is less healthy, stress ensues, small problems can become larger problems, and resentment can grow. We're at a glance here. We're back in very well minds, okay? Now, half listening, listening to respond, or not listening at all. There are several forms of poor listening, and they all wear away at relationships in one way or another. A few ways of poor listening includes half listening, that's aka lazy listening. This is the listening but not really listening style of someone who isn't really paying attention but is politely saying, uh-huh, uh-huh. This is only mildly detrimental, but it can damage a relationship when it's one sided or chronic, and when one partner realizes that much of what they say isn't really being heard or remembered. This can make a person feel less valued than they should feel. Next, listening to respond. More damaging than lazy listening is the type of listening where an important discussion is taking place and one person is merely waiting for their turn to talk rather than really hearing what their partner is saying. This creates a situation where listening isn't really happening, therefore, understanding cannot take place. This wastes both people's time and brings them no closer to one another when personal details are being shared, and no closer to a resolution when done in an important discussion. Next, not listening at all. Perhaps the most damaging form of poor listening is when one person simply refuses to listen or even tries to understand the other side. This happens all too often and creates a standoff situation more often than not. So, why these types of poor listening styles stress you out? So, when we are not listening well or at all, our partner can easily feel that their time is wasted. Think of how stressful it is when you're venting to your friend, but all they can do is keep looking at their phone while you're speaking. That feeling not only sucks, but it also is stressful. Instead of venting, you'll have to spend time asking your friend to put their phone away and listen, or you may just give up and not speak about your stress at all because what's the use, right? And then there's so many people. You can start talking to some people. This has happened to me so many times. I always end up being the listener. You start talking, and then they just take over the conversation and just start talking about themselves. And then I just be quiet and listen. But I'm learning now to disengage by, cutting the conversation off or doing what makes me feel better. Okay? And so if I'm talking on the phone and then it gets like that, then I know how now to gracefully, intelligently end the conversation. So you have to learn all of this, okay? What to try instead. We've all been bad listeners at one point or another, but since you're here reading this article, it's clear you're looking to improve. And I said, kudos to you. So you're listening, and I'm expressing this writer's help to us. So if you've been called out for half listening or not listening, try to present first and foremost when you communicate. Try to be present. Use active listening strategies like repeating back what you understand of what the other person has said. Try to validate feelings and try to be sure you're truly listening as much as you'd like to be heard. It's more than worth the effort. Sometimes you'll even be stressed and won't have the bandwidth or patience to really listen to someone else. When this happens, it's better if we let the person know of another time we'll be able to chat. And that, just be honest. That is so true. Now we go back to this passive aggressive communication. So, this form of communication can show itself in many ways. Our one partner can undermine the other by agreeing to do something and then forgetting or seeming to agree, but saying the opposite the next time the subject comes up. Passive aggressiveness can also show itself through constant disagreement over small issues, particularly in front of others. So, and next, this is why passive aggressiveness makes us so mad and stressed. It's been shown that passive aggressive personality disorder, which is PAPD, the acronym, leads to interpersonal stress, and dysfunction. Also, passive aggressiveness can make us upset because it is hard to address. For instance, it can be easily denied, creating a gaslighting situation. Moreover, when someone is being passive aggressive with us, it feels as if we're communicating with someone who wants to make us feel bad or doesn't really care about us. So, being on the receiving end of this kind of pettiness never ever feels good. So, what to try instead? Again, active listening can help here. Assertive communication, where you directly discuss if you have a disagreement or an issue with someone, is also helpful. Using I statements. For example, I feel frustrated when can help others understand how you feel as well. So while this may seem like a conflict at the moment, it actually circumvents long-term conflict by resolving issues at as they arise. So if you start to feel like someone is gaslighting you, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship you have with them. Hostile and aggressive communication is definitely stress inducing. Aggressive communication involves overtly hostile communication, including criticism or even name calling. It devalues the other person overtly, leaving people feeling defensive and leaving no veil over their overt conflict. This is a form of verbal abuse and is something that no one should ever tolerate in a relationship. And so we will continue this. I think I'll just go ahead. I don't think I have much more to do. No, I don't. I have just three more to present here, okay? So thank you so much for your patience. So this don't tolerate that verbal abuse. So why aggressive communication can be so hurtful and stressful? It never feels good to be attacked. Now those using aggressive communication tactics are more interested in power and winning rather than coming to an understanding, okay? So this brings the conflict to a new level and makes mutual understanding elusive. Now, what to try instead? If you find yourself on the receiving end of aggressiveness and can't get the person to understand your perspective, it might be time to distance yourself and use assertive communication techniques when necessary. Setting boundaries is a must. So, if you're communicating with someone and feel as if you're about to say something mean, it's best to walk away and return to the conversation later. Now, what this means for you, all of us can benefit from better communication skills, and doing so will reduce so much unnecessary stress in our lives. If you're struggling to communicate in a healthy way, reach out to a mental health professional. And Elizabeth Scott is a PhD. She's an author, workshop leader, educator, and award winning blogger on stress management, positive psychology, relationships, and emotional well being. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Point of View, and I am your host, Ms. Shirley Polk. And our subject today is life and relationship challenges, dealing with the situations as they present themselves. So remember to live, to love, to survive, and thrive. Okay? 2025 and forever. That's my motto. I love you so much. Enjoy the remainder of your day, night, evening, afternoon, whichever it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to go online and just type in my name, Miss Shirley Polk, Evangelist Shirley Polk Davis, and listen to my music. I have uh, uh, podcasts, of course, besides this one. And so, anyway, just listen to my work, okay? Listen to my work. Spotify, all over the place. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.